Hello, how are you? Today we have a fascinating story to tell, one that seems like it came straight out of a book of ancient mysteries. It's about a forgotten prophecy that, believe it or not, helped more than 3,000 people find hope in moments that seemed completely hopeless. Just imagine, in a forgotten corner of the world, a text lost for centuries was found, and what it said seems to have the power not only to inspire but to transform lives. Do you believe in the power of words? In the impact that a message from the past can have on our present? Well, get ready, because we're going to dive together into this incredible story. We'll discover how this prophecy was rediscovered, what it really says, and of course, how it touched the hearts and minds of thousands of people. Can an ancient prophecy teach us something new today? Let's find out. Don't forget to leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell so you don't miss any details. Shall we go? Before we dive into the prophecy itself, it's essential that we understand the background of this story. After all, every era has its mysteries and truths, and to comprehend the influence of a prophecy, we need to know where it came from. Imagine a time of great turmoil, perhaps a war, an economic crisis, or a pandemic. In times like these, people search for signs and messages that can offer some comfort or direction. It is in this scenario that our prophecy appears, but over the years it was forgotten, lost among the pages of history. It was in a small village, hidden among mountains or perhaps on the edge of an ancient river, that the prophecy was initially revealed. We don't know for certain who uttered it: a local sage, a spiritual leader, or perhaps a mystical figure shrouded in mystery. What we do know is that, like many treasures of antiquity, this prophecy was lost over time. Manuscripts crumble, empires fall, and what was known becomes legend, until, by some stroke of luck or fate, it reemerges, like the phoenix rising from the ashes, to speak once again to desperate hearts. Now that we have a sense of the historical terrain in which our story unfolds, we can begin to explore how this ancient message was rediscovered and what kind of hope it promised to those struggling to find light in times of darkness. So, are you ready to discover how this nearly lost message was brought back into the light? Let's go. And then, against all odds, the prophecy that had been forgotten for generations found its way back into the light. But how exactly did this happen? The rediscovery of something so significant is rarely straightforward or expected. Imagine a peaceful afternoon. An archaeologist, a librarian, or perhaps just a lover of old books stumbling upon something unusual among stacks of ancient documents and dusty manuscripts. Or perhaps it was a hidden map pointing to a site of historical significance, leading to an expedition that would reveal more than mere objects. A message for the world. That's what happened in our story. A document, fragile and yellowed with time, was found. Within it, words that seemed to resonate with an almost forgotten urgency. The prophecy wasn't on a majestic scroll or inscribed on ancient stones, but rather on plain paper, hidden in plain sight, waiting to be found. The discovery was just the beginning. The discoverer's excitement upon realizing the importance of what was in his hands was palpable. He knew this was not just an archaeological find. It was a voice from the past, calling to be heard in a new era. But what made this prophecy so special? It was the promise it carried. A message of hope in times of despair, a beacon for those sailing on starless nights. And, as you will see, it wasn't long before this message began to spread, touching the lives of thousands. So, what exactly was written in this document? What kind of hope did it offer? Let's dive into the content of the prophecy in the next segment of the video. Stay with us. Now that we know how the prophecy was rediscovered, let's delve into its content. What exactly was written in this document that had the power to touch so many lives? Get ready to dive into the words that offered light amid the shadows. The words of the prophecy were not complicated or wrapped in obscure language. In fact, it was the simplicity and clarity of the message that touched the hearts of those who read it. Even on the darkest nights, light will return at dawn. Those who persevere will find peace and renewal. Simple, isn't it? But imagine the power of these words during a time of great affliction. Historians who analyze the document suggest it may have been written during a period of significant crisis. perhaps a war, a devastating disease, or a severe famine. In that context, words promising renewal and peace were not just comforting. They were a lifeline. Furthermore, the prophecy contains promises of renewal and healing, not just for the individual, but for the entire community. This collective vision of hope is what we believe made the message resonate so deeply with so many people. And for those who found it in modern times, these words seemed as relevant as they would have been centuries ago. In an era of global uncertainties and personal challenges, the message of the prophecy offers a reminder. Darkness is temporary, and light, the hope, always returns. How did these ancient words impact people in real life? In the next segment, we'll hear directly from some of the 3,200 who found comfort and direction in this forgotten message. Don't miss it. After discovering the exciting content of the prophecy, it's time to see how these ancient words have transformed modern lives. In this segment, we'll hear directly from some of the people who were touched by this message of hope. Prepare for stories that might just change the way you see the world. First, meet Maria, a teacher who was facing a deep personal crisis when she came across the prophecy. She shares how the words light will return at dawn gave her strength to overcome daily challenges and maintain hope during a dark period in her life.
I was almost giving up. Everything seemed meaningless. But then I read these simple words and it was as if new energy arose within me. Each morning I remembered them and it gave me strength to continue.
Next, we have João, a volunteer worker in underserved communities. He explains how the prophecy inspired him to start a community project focused on reconstruction and renewal, based on the idea that those who persevere will find peace.
This message made me realize that hope and action can go hand in hand. We started small, but little by little, we are making a big difference. It's the prophecy in action, bringing light to places that only knew darkness.
And we cannot forget Anna, a writer who found in the prophecy the inspiration for her latest book, which explores themes of resilience and hope. Anna describes how the prophecy not only influenced her writing but also helped her connect with readers around the world who were seeking solace and inspiration.
When I shared these words in my book, the response was incredible. People really felt touched by the idea that no matter how long the night, the dawn always comes.
These are just a few of the many stories inspired by the forgotten prophecy. Each testimony reminds us that, regardless of the circumstances, hope can be a powerful force for change and healing. With these stories in mind, we will now explore further the cultural and social impact of this rediscovered prophecy. How have these ancient words shaped communities and influenced events? Let's find out in the next segment. Now that we've heard the powerful personal stories of people touched by the prophecy, let's understand what experts have to say about this phenomenon. Historians, psychologists, and theologians offer us a deeper insight into how and why messages like this can have such a significant impact. First, we spoke with Dr. Helena, a historian, who explains the role of prophecies in different cultures throughout the centuries. She discusses how, often in times of crisis, communities turn to ancient and sacred texts for guidance and comfort.
Dr. Helena, prophecies often emerge in moments of great uncertainty and need. They offer not just predictions but also consolation, suggesting that the future can be known and that fate is, in some way, under control.
Next, we hear from Dr. Carlos, a psychologist who discusses how messages of hope, like those found in the prophecy, can affect the human mind. He explains that hope is a critical component for psychological resilience and how, neurologically, it helps us face adversity.
Hope activates brain regions associated with well-being and motivation. When people believe there is a light at the end of the tunnel, they are able to keep stress and anxiety more manageable, which is crucial in difficult times.
Finally, we talk with Reverend Lucas, a theologian who discusses the spiritual aspect of prophecies. He focuses on how these messages can strengthen people's faith and unite communities around a common purpose.
Regardless of religion, prophecies have the power to bring people together, offering a sense of community and a shared vision. This can be extremely powerful in times of crisis.
These expert views help us understand how the prophecy transcends time and space, influencing not just individuals, but entire communities. They show us that, even in a modern and often skeptical world, ancient words of hope still hold a special place. With these insights, we will next explore the cultural and social impact that the prophecy has had since its rediscovery. How has it shaped communities, and what significant events have been driven by its message? Stay with us to find out. After understanding how the prophecy resonates on an individual level and being analyzed by experts, let's now explore its broader impact. How has this ancient message of hope influenced cultures and shaped communities? This segment will delve into the social and cultural legacy of the rediscovered prophecy. First, let's visit a small town that was particularly touched by the prophecy. Here, annually, the inhabitants gather to celebrate Hope Day, a festival inspired by the words of the prophecy. This event not only reinforces community cohesion but also attracts visitors from other regions, spreading the message even further.
This day is special for us. It's a reminder that, no matter how difficult life may seem, there is always a promise of renewal and peace. We celebrate not just for ourselves, but to show the world that hope is universal.
Moreover, the prophecy has played a significant role in education. Schools and universities have incorporated its study into history and literature courses, using it as an example of how beliefs and cultural narratives can influence entire societies.
Analyzing this prophecy helps us understand the power of words and narrative in shaping cultural identity and community resilience.
The prophecy has also inspired numerous local artists, who have created works of art, from paintings to musical compositions, that reflect its messages of hope and renewal. These works help keep the prophecy alive in the collective memory and inspire new generations to value and reflect on its meaning.
My art is a conversation with the past. Through it, I try to capture the essence of those ancient words that still echo with relevance today.
This cultural and social impact demonstrates how an ancient message can transcend time and become a vibrant part of contemporary life. But how exactly has this prophecy motivated specific events? In the next segment, we'll explore significant events that have been driven by this powerful message of hope. Stay with us to find out. After exploring the cultural and social impact of the prophecy, we now delve into specific events that were directly influenced by this message of hope. These events demonstrate how powerful words can transform into concrete actions, changing the course of local and even global history. One of the first events that emerged was the Renew Hope project. Initiated by a group of young people inspired by the prophecy, this movement focused on revitalizing areas of the city that had been neglected or devastated by natural disasters.
We wanted to bring the message of the prophecy to real life, showing that each of us can be the light in the darkness for others. Our work here is a symbol of renewal and hope for the community.
The prophecy teaches us that hope is not just a feeling, but a force that can be mobilized to confront the most pressing challenges of our time.
Another significant event was the international conference Dialogues of Hope, which brought together leaders and thinkers from around the world to discuss how resilience and hope can be cultivated in societies facing crises. The prophecy was used as a case study, inspiring debates and global initiatives. Beyond these, the prophecy inspired the creation of a series of public works, such as murals and monuments, each telling a part of the prophecy's story and serving as permanent reminders of the human capacity to overcome adversity with faith and hope.
This mural is a visual representation of the prophecy. Each color and shape chosen reflects a part of the journey of hope that we all share.
These events and projects are not just testimonials to the power of the prophecy, but also living examples of how ideas can be transformed into positive action. As we continue our exploration in the next segment, we will reflect on the deeper meanings of these stories and the lasting legacy that a simple message can leave. Don't miss it. We have reached a crucial point in our journey through the story of the forgotten prophecy. After exploring how this ancient message influenced lives, inspired events, and transformed communities, it's time to pause and reflect critically on what we've learned and the lasting impact of these words. It's undeniable that the prophecy has brought hope and inspiration to many, but it's also important to question and understand the mechanisms behind this phenomenon. How and why do messages from such distant times and contexts still resonate so powerfully today? Is the need to believe in something better, especially in times of crisis, a universal human trait?
Prophecies, regardless of their origin, tend to touch on universal themes of adversity and redemption. This may explain why they resonate across diverse cultures and eras, acting as a mirror of our own hopes and fears.
We must also consider the responsibility that comes with interpreting and disseminating messages like these. At what point does the hope offered by a prophecy serve as a bomb? And at what point might it veer into escapism or even a denial of reality?
Hope is vital, but it must be balanced with action and realism. When people rely solely on prophecies for their vision of the future, they can lose the critical capacity to address current problems pragmatically.
Reflecting on these issues, we are invited to ponder the role of narratives in our perception of the world and how we choose to use the stories of the past to shape our future. Now that we've reflected on the critical aspects and implications of the prophecy, let's conclude our journey by looking forward, discussing how we can apply the lessons learned to future challenges and how to continue conveying this message of hope. Join us in the final segment to wrap up our exploration. We have reached the end of our incredible journey through the story of the forgotten prophecy. Today, we've seen how an ancient message found in a dusty document resonated through the centuries, inspiring hope and action in difficult times for thousands of people. Now, we invite you to carry forward the message of this prophecy. Whether in your community, your workplace, or within your own home, there is always room to spread hope and encourage others to do the same. Think about how you can be a beacon of light, especially in moments of darkness. Perhaps, by sharing this story or creating your own messages of hope, you can significantly impact someone's life. And, of course, we want to hear your voice. Share in the comments how this video touched you or how you plan to bring hope into your life and the lives of others. Your story might be the inspiration someone needs to hear today. Narrator, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell for more content that makes a difference. Together, we can continue to build a future where hope is not just a word, but a daily practice. Thank you so much for joining us on this exploration. Until next time,